Hi, this is Elizabeth with Tiny House Preppers. And what we thought we'd do tonight is just show you how I am going to make some spaghetti. Now, one of the things that we do to feel like we're prepared for emergencies or to be preppers is we use Thrive Foods as our long-term storage. I love the quality, and I love the fact that the cans can last for like 25 years before you open them, which is wonderful. But I also honestly use them constantly for cooking. And so what I'm going to do tonight is make some spaghetti, and except for adding a little bit of my own dried minced garlic and some basil, salt and pepper, it's all going to be Thrive. And so I just want to show you how I do it. One nice thing about it is that you don't have to buy more than you can use. You use just what you need. So I'm not going to be measuring with this. It's kind of not how I do it. But you can use your own recipe with Thrive Foods very, very easily. But I just thought I'd show you how I will throw together a really quick and easy, really good spaghetti dinner. Okay, here we go. This is one of my favorite things from Thrive. It's their sausage. And I will just take my cast iron pan. By the way, we totally love cast iron. It cooks evenly and smoothly, and it's healthy, and they last forever, and we are big fans of our cast iron. So I'm going to just scoop some sausage in here. Now, a lot of times we would need to rehydrate things ahead of time, but because this is going to be simmering, I don't have to worry about that. I just dump it in. So just a good, nice amount of sausage. I'll be making more sauce than we'll probably use just for tonight, because it's one of the few things I make extra of, because it makes such a great thing to put in the freezer or whatever for a quick meal when we need it. So I will be making a little bit more than we'll use. Okay, wonderful green peppers. I do have arthritis, and not cutting up all these veggies is wonderful. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to use a clean one here because I was using sausage with the other. These are, by the way, really good. I'll dump in some wonderful peppers. There we go. Let's dump some in. So those are the green peppers and the sausage. And my sister one time watched me do this when she came for a visit, and that's what got her interested in Thrive. And she now uses quite a bit of it and really loves it. She lives up in Maine. It helps because they're quite a distance from a store, so it's very useful for her. She and I both agree this is one of our very favorite things in the whole world are the mushrooms. Oh my goodness, they smell heavenly. I can use the pepper thing for the mushrooms. But I will enjoy putting the mushrooms in. When you get to the bottom of the can and it's just crumbly mushroom bits, you can flavor a sauce. Oh, heavenly with that stuff. Some mushrooms. So this is one of our real favorites. What does Bill call it? My triumvirate, or whatever he calls it, mushrooms, onion, and peppers. Use them all the time. Now, there's the fine diced onion, which is great just to dump in things for flavor. But when we want to have the big pieces of onion, like I want in my sauce, we use the onion slices. Wonderful smell. So I'm just going to put some onion in there. There we go. You notice I keep the thing in there that soaks up the oxygen, but I certainly don't get it in my food. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, and this is like organic dried garlic. I'm just going to grate some in there. I like a lot of garlic, and this is wonderful garlic. Of course, you can use fresh, and I believe this Thrive has garlic also, which I'm sure is really, really wonderful. I just don't happen to have any right now, so put in the garlic. And when I start growing some basil, I'm going to put in fresh, but I will put in some extra dried basil here. Now, I don't usually rely on just that for my flavoring for spaghetti sauce, but I'm going to put in a little bit of salt. But this is sea salt, but what I'm using tonight is this is some pepper, one of Thrive's wonderful sauce mixes, which makes a marinara sauce. This has a fabulous flavor. I did not realize I was going to be so thrilled with the sauce mixes. So I'm going to be using some of this and then some of the Thrive tomato paste. This has a fabulous, fabulous flavor. Just going to put some in. Now I'm not going to put up enough in there now to really thicken it. I want to give it a chance for all the things to soak up liquid and see kind of how much liquid I'm going to need, and then I can continue to flavor it. And then this is also one of my very favorite things. So often if you buy a can of tomato paste and you're supposed to use 2 tablespoons of it, the rest will just kind of go to waste. This is wonderful and fresh smelling and tasting, and it is a wonderful way to add tomato to something. This is the tomato powder. It's like powdered tomato paste. It really, really works wonderfully. Now, I'm not going to do it tonight, but we also have Thrive chopped tomatoes, which are wonderful. And those can also go in if you'd like chunks of tomato in your sauce. Okay, so this is all together here. I am simply going to put a bunch of water in there. And it's going to soak up quite a bit, so I'll keep an eye on it as it simmers to make sure I'm keeping enough liquid in there. That looks good. Okay, I'm going to get a spoon out here, hon. Now, this will soak up a lot of the liquid, and then as it gets really soaked up and rehydrated, then I will adjust my liquid, and then I'll taste it and adjust my seasoning and my sauce mix to go in this. But this will get me off to a wonderful start. And it seems real watery, but it's gonna thicken beautifully as it rehydrates the food, and as I add whatever remaining tomato paste, tomato powder that I need to add. Okay, so, excuse me a second. I love the fact that in my tiny house I can still cook regular food, just like I always have. Okay, now, let me get this simmering. And like I said, I love the fact that with the cast iron, it'll just simmer and it evenly heats everything, and it won't burn, and I can do it over a low heat. And I'm going to let this simmer for a little while, and then I'll check it and see if I need to add more liquid and see if I need to increase my sauce just a little bit. I want to give it a chance to soak up good first. Okay, that's getting the sauce going.
Hi, Bill here, and I'm helping Elizabeth. We like to cook together a lot. She's got the spaghetti sauce simmering here, so I'm going to cook the pasta, which is no big deal, cooking pasta, right? But we've discovered a new way to cook it that really works a lot better. The cold cook method. Rather than putting the water to a boil and then putting the pasta in and then it sticks together, and you got to put, different people put salt or oil or different things in the water to try to keep it from sticking. This is our counter in our tiny house. We balance things in the kitchen all the time because we don't have much room. So I take the pasta. I always just like to break it in half, just for myself. So you put that in there, and then you fill it with cold water. When I first heard this, I thought it was nuts, but we tried it, and it really works better. It doesn't stick at all, and it cooks just as well. So you just fill it with cold water, and then put it on the stove. Or something to stir it with.
Here, get this one.
So I'm stirring it, but it's not sticking together like it usually does when you drop spaghetti noodles into hot water and it all clumps and you got to stir it real fast so it doesn't stick. It just doesn't do it. It's all separated. So now we just bring it to a boil and then cook it until it's tender and ready to go, and we're good to go. So I'm looking forward to spaghetti tonight.
Okay, I believe all my vegetables and meat are all very well rehydrated, and there's enough liquid in here. Like I said, it's going to make a nice batch of sauce. Now, I can tell from just tasting it a little bit and everything that I want to add a little more thickening now, which is, since I'm going to use their wonderful tomato sauce base here, the classic tomato sauce from Thrive, by adding that, I will be doing two things. It's going to give it a little more seasoning, and then I can always dump in more garlic and Italian seasoning and basil and stuff if I need to. And it'll also add more thickening. So now that I've got this where I know I've pretty much done all the absorbing, I'm going to put a couple more tablespoons of this in. And it will thicken up beautifully and finish seasoning it You can see that happen almost immediately. Now I'm getting a nice thick spaghetti sauce consistency. I'll let that simmer just a few more minutes while our pasta's cooking. Oh, beautiful. Let me just get a little quick taste test. Let me scrape this off the spoon. Just stir it in thoroughly. There we go. Oh, that smells wonderful. I sound like a cooking show. Okay. Oh yeah, really good flavor. So I will turn the heat way down in my cast iron, let that just simmer while the pasta cooks, and we'll be ready to go. All right, yum, bon appetit. Okay, hon.
Okay, so now the spaghetti sauce is done. It looks wonderful. And by the way, this is a little bit darker brown than you might be used to because this is whole wheat pasta that I use. And that's wonderful. Full of sausage and all kinds of vegetables. All from Thrive Food, 100% Thrive. Just imagine if if the balloon goes up and everybody's struggling to try to find something to eat and you're sitting home eating this from your stores because you've got plenty of it.
We find that when we're making things like the spaghetti sauce or chili or all sorts of things like that, we always deliberately make extra and just go ahead and freeze some more because it'll just save cooking time later and have a meal there if we need it. And I tell you what, it saves me a lot of time on chopping and fixing, which I really appreciate to make this wonderful spaghetti.
Okay, I'm going to go eat.